Associate Professor Alan Kuperman from the LBJ School of Public Affairs. He is back to talk about this very serious subject. I mean, this is something that really needs to get a lot of attention, right?
Well, I mean, this is right now a potential crisis point, a potential trigger point. You have North Korea having tested 2 nuclear weapons. The last one seems to have worked, not perfectly, but a 2 to 4 kiloton nuclear weapon could ruin your whole day.
Well, they took air samples, didn't they, and brought it back to Washington, and they tested it, and that's in fact what it was, right?
Well, I mean, certainly also the seismic signature suggests that this was a nuclear test and that it worked better. The first one that they tried in 2006 seems to have been sort of a fizzle. It didn't work exactly right. This one may not have worked perfectly, but it had a multi-kiloton yield. And as I say, that's in the same order of magnitude as the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs.
Right.
And so we're talking about a significant weapon. It's something we do not want to get into a crisis where North Korea feels they have to use this sort of weapon.
Why do you think they are doing this? I mean, another missile was test fired today. What is its point? What is North Korea saying? Don't mess with us?
I think they have a number of goals. Number one is, for sure, they want security. They also want respect and prestige. They also would like, if they're going to freeze their nuclear program, to get something for it. And I think they actually think that when they've made deals with the United States or with the six-party talks, that in fact our side is the one that has cheated. For example, we condemned them over their missile test, and so they feel if you're going to break your side of the bargain, then we can break our side of the bargain, or at least that's their rationale.
Okay, so today the UN is considering more sanctions on North Korea. Is this going to backfire? What's going to happen now?
Well, it's again, if we think they've broken the deal, then we understandably want to apply sanctions. On the other hand, if they think we've broken the deal, then more sanctions are just going to upset them even more and get them to take more retaliatory action.
Well, what is the real fear here, though?
The danger, I think, is not that either side wants a new war. The Korean War ended in 1953. We don't want a renewal of that war. Even with conventional weapons, tens of thousands of people could die. With nuclear weapons, even more. So it's not the danger of intentional war, it's the danger of unintentional escalation. So, for example, South Korea has just joined the U.S. Proliferation Security Initiative. This says that if they are trying to, if North Korea is suspected of exporting nuclear or missile material, we can intercept the ship. North Korea says this would be an act of war. So what happens if we get intelligence that says there are nuclear components on a ship that's exiting from North Korea? If we try to intercept that, North Korea could react by firing missiles. Not nuclear missiles, but just conventional missiles. What would we do then? We have a commitment to defend South Korea. Would we then bomb North Korean facilities? If North Korea feels it's under attack and its survival is at stake, it's at that point it might consider using nuclear weapons. So it's not intentional war, but unintentional escalation. And so with the question of sanctions at the UN or intercepting shipments, we need to be careful. We need to be sure that we're not unnecessarily provocative.
Could there be a diplomatic resolution?
I think there could be. You know, people think of Kim Jong-il as sort of a crazy person. I mean, make fun of him in animated films and so forth. But the reality is that the North Korean regime has cut a number of deals and honored those deals for many years. For example, the 1994 agreed framework with the Clinton administration, they froze their nuclear program for 8 years until the next president, George W. Bush, announced that North Korea was part of the axis of evil. Again, North Korea thought we broke the bargain, not that they broke the bargain. So yeah, I think a negotiated outcome is possible.
How does Russia factor into all this? Because we were talking during the break about how initially Russia was backing the UN. Now they're kind of backpedaling.
Yeah, the initial reaction of the entire world was great in that they all condemned this North Korean action as unfortunate. Now there seems to be perhaps a little backpedaling from Russia. Maybe they're trying to become sort of the insider in this and the friend of North Korea, and thereby gain leverage both with the United States and the UN and also with North Korea.
All right. Certainly interesting. Thank you, Alan, for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate your insight. Wish we had more time to talk, but we got to go.